What's up, guys? This is DJ Cade, back once again like a Renegade Master, and I have been saying on this channel that I've been wanting to have more battles for quite some time, and that day has finally arrived. I've had this content sitting on my hard drive for a little bit, and I finally wanted to get it out there because I have a lot of battles for this Jungle Cup. Not just my tournament, but some training battles that I did with some people on Discord that I have been reaching Ultra Friends with, and even with some pro players in my area. And I'm going to have 3 different parts to this series. The first match of which was against a guy I know from the Battle Park Discord who goes by Ednog250, and he actually gave me quite a bit of trouble. I mean, this guy was extremely tough. If I was looking for good training matches, you know, this was definitely a guy to go up against. As you can see, I've got a very standard lineup for my team. I've got Wigglytuff, Lanturn, Vigoroth, Noctowl, Forretress, and Venusaur. And this was one of the things where I saw this team being ran a lot by a lot of pro players, and I saw, in fact, Battle Hero do a video about using this team and using different lineups with ways you can win as far as different swapping strategies with Vigoroth. And on top of that, this was also an extremely cheap team for me to build, especially since 3 of the Pokemon that I was using were left over from the Rainbow Cup with Lanturn, Forretress, and Venusaur, and then with the Wigglytuff, I just happened to have one that was really close to 1500, and then when I powered it up and I saw that it hit 1500 exactly, I was like, sure, I'm going to use this strategy. This seems really good, like especially for somebody like me who does not have a lot of Stardust. And let me just tell you, like, against Ednog, this was not the team. Either that or I didn't know how to play it because, boy, like, as you guys are going to see, I don't want to waste much more time with it, but these matches are going to be absolutely brutal. So for this first match, I decided to go with the Vigoroth, Lanturn, and the Venusaur. And you're probably thinking, why would you do that? Why would you try to go in with the Venusaur? Well, I saw 3 fairly hard counters to Venusaur on his team, and I thought maybe that's part of his strategy. Maybe he's trying to trap people into not using that Venusaur, maybe so he can use that Magneton a little bit more so that his Vigoroth will be protected. In hindsight, I really should have chosen some better Pokemon, but let's see how we do. Alright, so the battle begins. Vigoroth comes in, and oof, he brings in the Heracross. That is not good for us at all. But I decide what I'm going to do here is I'm going to charge up a little bit of energy, throw out that first Body Slam, and then see if I can get that swap and bring in something that'll be a wee bit more beneficial. He doesn't shield it, which is alright. I wish we maybe would have been better burning a shield here, but I decided to bring in the Lanturn thinking this is going to be able to tank him without maybe making him want to switch, but that does nearly half his health, and he switches out the moment he hits me with that charge move, and now I'm stuck in a bad matchup. He brought the Magneton, so I just gotta try to do what I can do here. He ends up blocking it, and he gets to that next charge move. He gets to that charge move so fast. He wasn't in very long whatsoever. I decide I have to shield because this might be the Lanturn might be one of the only things I have that can take this Magneton down. I decide to not shield it because I'm not going to get much more damage out of him at this point. I send Vigoroth back in thinking I can finish him with fast moves, and I do. So now we're at 2 Pokemon and 1 shield each. And oh, we take each other out at the same time. That was brutal. And now the only 2 Pokemon we have left, that Noctowl and the Venusaur, which at this time I had Razor Leaf on my Venusaur, which was not something that you want for this cup. Like for the Rainbow Cup, Razor Leaf was okay, but for this cup you definitely want the Vine Whip, and he was able to farm up 2 charge moves before I could even get to one of them, and I've got nothing, and he's going to take this first game. Alright, so I decide to change my lineup again. I don't know why I keep bringing in the Venusaur. For some reason I was thinking, you know, the poison typing, it'll resist counter from Heracross and from Vigoroth. but, you know, he's got a lot of strong counters on this team. There's like literally 3 things he could have thrown in against me, so I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe he was going to lead with Magneton and that I would get a positive lead there maybe, but I decided to bring in the Forretress this time because of the high number of bug types that he has on this team. I figure maybe Forretress will be able to do me a little bit better in this match. Let's see how we do. The battle begins, Venusaur comes in, and Venomoth comes in again with the bad lead. This is so bad for me. He's going to rip through me with those confusions, and I decide to bank a little bit of energy, see if I can bail before his charge move, and I managed to get it. I managed to be able to just soak this Silver Wind, and he swaps out right away into his Noctowl, which is not the worst matchup, but it's not the most ideal matchup either. And we're going to try tanking this Sky Attack just to see, and it still does like 1/3 of my health. It's still crazy damage. I decide to go for the Rock Tomb, thinking that if I do manage, it'll either force a shield or do big damage. And again, not barely even half his health out of that Rock Tomb. I'm really surprised at that. So now I'm thinking, what do I bring in here? Do I bring in my Vigoroth? Do I bring in the Venusaur and just have him get farmed up? He's going to throw a Sky Attack right away, and I figure I'm going to shield him because I want at least my Vigoroth to stay healthy. And do I manage to take him down with quick attacks? Thankfully I do. I've got enough built up for a Body Slam to where I can just throw that in on whatever's incoming, but knowing him, he'll probably shield this Heracross, and he does, because that's going to be a really positive matchup for him now. And I decide to swap out, thinking that maybe I can absorb some fighting type moves if he's going to throw a fighting type move, but he throws the Mega Horn, and I don't shield. Thinking it was going to be the fighting type move, I come back in, see if I can hit him with a Body Slam, and he shields once again, but he's going to finish me off without even needing to burn my last shield. And I'm feeling absolutely shook right now, you guys. Like, I'm feeling like I'm just not up to that skill level, but we do get 1,000 Stardust, which is pretty cool. Alright, I don't know what is wrong with me sending in this Venusaur every time. Like, I should have noticed this. I should have seen this when I was looking at his team more. I just figured that like Venusaur was going to be my only real Vigoroth counter. It seemed like Vigoroth would have almost everything on my team. Probably would have been a better idea to bring in Noctowl for a lot of these matches. But I decide that, you know, nothing's really going to be crazy dominant against Lanturn, except maybe that Magneton. So I decide to bring in the Lanturn as the lead this match, and we'll see how that works out. And as you can see, like, at this point, I'm just trying things. I'm not following Battle Hero's strategy that he had in his video for how to run this particular team comp. And, you know, it's just the kind of thing where I'm not having that experience, but I'm learning very fast. Let's see how well this match goes. In comes the Lanturn, and in comes Vigoroth. This isn't too terrible for me. We're actually going to be able to do a lot of fast move damage with that Water Gun, but he's able to farm me. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got 2 Body Slams in a row. I decide to tank the first one, not wanting to waste a shield, and it doesn't do that much damage, but he gets another one right away. I mean, I wasn't exactly trying to use the charge move, but I figure I have to shield here. We go for the Thunderbolt, and we end up missing one of them, but still getting the Excellent, and he decides he's got to shield that. He's not going to switch out. He figures this is a good farmable matchup for him, and I feel like I just don't have anything. I'm not going to have anything left on the Lanturn, so I might as well let it go down at that point and save a shield. At least I have my Venusaur now. I can send that in with the Razor Leaf damage and finish off that Vigoroth. So I feel like this is a little bit of a positive matchup. He sends in his Noctowl, but without the Lanturn and having Venusaur in my team comp, I don't have anything to deal with the Noctowl, and I decide to shield because both of these attacks are going to hurt. I mean, I'm going to have to keep him alive just a little bit longer. At this point, I'm feeling like I've lost this one too, and We do burn his last shield, but I think he realizes he's in a position where he doesn't need any more shields, and I was going to switch out with a little bit of energy, but it just didn't happen. And now I bring in the Vigoroth, and I've got like nothing left for shields on my Vigoroth, and he's got 2 Pokemon. He's got built up energy. I'm not going to be able to finish him off with just counters before he can hit me with the next Sky Attack, and that's gonna be GG's. Like, ouch. Press F's in the comments for me. Just like rest in peace, DJ Cade, as far as this game goes. I mean, at least we're getting a Sinnoh Stone for our troubles, huh? So, do we actually learn anything from these battles? Do we actually go into the next one with a different strategy? Do we bring in Noctowl? Yes, we actually bring in Noctowl this time. Like, for the first time, we're leaving out Venusaur. We're bringing in the Forretress, like, hard counters to a lot of his bug types and everything. Like, sure, Magneton might be able to give us a little bit of a struggle, but we do have Vigoroth for that. And I don't know what it was, guys, if it was just nerves, not knowing, like, just battling random people and not knowing how good they're going to be or anything. Maybe I just got choked up for those first few games. I'm not sure what it was, but we'll see how this team comp does. Now that we're finally having the Nads to bring in the Noctowl. Alright, Forretress goes in here, and Forretress comes out. Probably one of the only slightly positive leads we've had this whole time battling against Eggnog. Sorry, Ednog, not Eggnog. But we do have the Earthquake, so if we can hit him with one of those, maybe we can do some serious damage. I'm going to decide not to shield this. He comes in with the Rock Tomb, and it does okay damage, maybe like a quarter. But I decide to farm up a little bit. I decide to overcharge just a little bit, go for my own Rock Tomb. We'll see if he shields that, and we do get a shield out of him. So we're in a positive shield matchup, and we're not down by too much health. We decide here that we're going to go for another Rock Tomb, and we're not going to shield this one either, but we just don't survive it. I thought maybe we could have gotten one more off before we died, but we couldn't. So we go in with the Vigoroth. We're using them counters to pick on that partial weakness, and that was just energy for us. He just couldn't get to another charge move before we were able to finish him off. So now we've got extra Body Slam sitting in the back for this Venomoth, which is probably going to be one of his harder Vigoroth counters, and we get the next shield. We're up 2-0 on shields. We can send in another Body Slam right away, and this goes in, and we get him down to half health. And granted, those confusions are going to be hurting us quite a bit. We're going to be shielding Vigoroth because we want to keep him healthy. We all know about him in the Jungle Cup. You guys should know about him anyways. And yeah, so we go in for another Body Slam, and we figure he's got no shields. This is going to take him out at this point. We don't have to put up with any more confusions. He sends in his own Vigoroth, and we manage to get one more Body Slam before we go down. Like, this is where it's all turning around, guys. This is where we're finally gonna start winning all the games, right? We've got all of our losses out of the way at this point, right? You know, we send in that Noctowl, and we're pretty sure we've got it here. We've got enough. We've got a shield here, but we're not going to shield this. We're actually going to tank this one, and we're planning on shielding the second one because I knew he was going to have a lot. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered which one I shielded, but we go for that Sky Attack right away, and doing terrible on the flying type pattern. That's probably one of my worst patterns. So GG's to me. We finally take one, guys, against Ednog, who's proving to be a serious competitor. Alright, for the last match, I'm going to try changing it up a little bit. I'm going to try mixing it up against him. I've used my Vigoroths and my other Pokemon of that nature, like my more mainstay Pokemon, At least in the last 4 games, I've used just those. My Wigglytuff has just been sitting in the back. It hasn't really been drawing the leads. Like, Eggnog was not susceptible to the strategy, okay? He did not fall for that, you know, what if he brings in Wigglytuff thing, you know? I mean, he was bold enough to send in, like, Heracrosses and Venomoths and other things for the lead. But I don't know if he ended up having the Poison Fang on his Venomoth. I never did find out. But I decided to change it up a little. I decided, okay, we had good success bringing in the Noctowl the last game. We'll bring in the Vigoroth, and we'll throw in the Wigglytuff just to see if we can catch him in a situation that we might be able to take advantage of him with that charm. So let's see how we do in this game. All right, and the final battle begins, and we get a positive matchup here, guys. We get a positive matchup. We can throw on some super effective damage, but he ain't having any of that. And he sends in his Noctowl, and I'm realizing that, you know, in this situation, I just didn't have anything for the Noctowl. I didn't bring the Lantern, and I thought Wigglytuff would be tankier than he is, but he's just going to get to those charge moves so much faster. I figure with this one, do I shield this one? Yes, I do decide to shield it because I figure at least with the charm I can put in some serious work before I die. I go for the Ice Beam. He's probably not going to shield this, knowing that his Noctowl is almost dead. And we get him with that. We probably should have just waited and finished him off, but I didn't know if we were going to survive against that Noctowl. And thankfully, even though Magneton resists this, we still put in a lot of work on him. Now I'm just waiting my switch timer out, and I figure I can bring Vigoroth back in. I'm going to shield this discharge, but now unfortunately I'm down both of my shields. He has the serious shield advantage, and we can't get to another body slam before he can get to another charge move, and that Thunder Shock is what you need on that Magneton. Absolutely. Like, the Legacy Magneton is just ridiculous. So he sends in Heracross, we throw out the body slam, but that Heracross is just going to eat us alive. If we would have had our Lantern as opposed to that Wigglytuff, we probably could have won this. We probably could have done a whole lot better, had to shield less, but he's going to use a charge move. I didn't even see what it was. It hurt us really badly though, and we go down at the same time. I don't even get a shot again at his last Pokemon, and ouch. Like, to Eggnog 250, GG's. I mean, that was just absolutely brutal. Like, I didn't know what to expect going in against you, and you played some seriously tough matches against me, and that's what I was looking for in those training matches. So GG's once again, and thank you so much for the battles. By the way, in case you guys were wondering, I think I missed this earlier in the video, he just agreed to play me in 5 battles, no matter what the outcome was. We didn't really do a best 3 out of 5 or anything, but that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something about this meta and the way that certain teams can be countered, and how just not bringing in the right lineup against somebody, they will just pick you apart. So in the next video, we are going to go up against Deefy250, who is a pro player from my area who's I finally get to battle with. Actually, you know, I've been putting it off. She's been wanting to battle me for a while, but that's going to be in the next video, which I'm going to start working on right now, right after I'm done recording this. So stay tuned to my channel, you guys, for part 2 in the Road to the Jungle Cup series. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time. I love you. Peace.